Let's have a closer look at the new Alpine A524. After a troublesome season 2023 where the Renault headquarters fired the whole top management of the F1 team, consistency is important for the team now. New people have to settle into their new roles and the team needs to learn to work together. And that was always a problem between the engine development in Viry in France and the chassis development in Enstone in the UK. Because after all, the Alpine F1 team is a works team, so they build chassis and engine of the car. But their management approach is very different. The team was always suffering from too much control from the headquarters and too little investment. So let's see how that will work out this year. The car last year wasn't too bad and gradually followed the general design trends. But the problem was the too small performance window, so the area where the car works best. Alpine says the car is completely new, but in summary they optimized last year's car in a lot of details. The main priority was to widen the operating window of the car. So how can you do that? First of all, you want the tires to get up to temperature as quickly as possible. And then you want them to stay at this optimum temperature and not to overheat. You do that with more downforce and with complex brake cooling and heat transfer into the rims. And so Alpine reworked their inner suspension geometry, brake cooling, and they tightened the package to have more freedom for the aerodynamics to produce more downforce. At the front we see a very fat nose. Unfortunately, that makes the car look like an F2 car, but a wider nose with its bigger cross-sectional area also helps you to pass the crash test more easily. Aerodynamically, you create a higher pressure area in the center of the car, which diverts more air to the front wing flaps. And these flaps are pretty high and aggressive. At the sides they are bent down to create outwash to keep the front rear wake away from the rest of the car. The side pods look a bit more refined, but stick with the same concept of large downwashing side pods, plus water slides to drag more clean air down towards the rear, plus a huge undercut area to additionally guide clean air to the back. Alpine also talked a lot about how they improved their cooling, and we cannot see a shark fin. The shark fin helps teams to keep the front rear wake away from the rear wing and corners, but it also creates a tip vortex which can disturb the flow at the back. Alpine has some louvres here now, which is a good place, because the low energy flow doesn't hit anything important from here. Interesting at the presentation was that they said they need to get better with their rear wings, especially for Monza. But Monza is a legendary track and usually you know which kind of wing you need for that. So it's a bit unfortunate if you get this one wrong. So let's remember that for Monza 2024 and we should have a closer look at Alpine's rear wing. And Alpine has a new floor concept which we might see during the season at some point. In general, we can see a lot of black around the car. The pink version of the car doesn't really look pink. That's another general trend in F1 because teams try to save as much weight as possible. Nice for the fans is that Alpine showed the real car in a lot of small details, which might be different for the winter test or the first race. So Alpine developed last year's car further in a lot of areas and changed to new concepts for some of them. The team knows they will have to get to know their new car first, and that could mean that results won't come right away. So how do you like the new Alpine A524? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to be part of F1 and work in the technical development of F1 teams, check out my online career accelerator program. It's an intensive 6-week course which helps you to prepare yourself for a career in F1 with CATIA V6 licenses and lots of valuable knowledge you can only get from people who worked in the industry. The first people who finished this course are already working in F1's aero departments, so you could be the next one. Check out the course with the link below and make sure that you state that you found the course through my YouTube channel. See you at the next one.